I've been working on keeping my garden both pretty and functional this summer, and over the last few weeks,
here and here, and then
I've been making progress here and there whenever I could. In this video, I'll take you along for some of that work. Plus, if you look closely, you might be able to notice there's another really big project coming that I'll need to tackle sooner than later. I'll be saying goodbye to summer plants, starting seeds and second season crops, giving a little love to the birds, and dealing with some not so fun garden problems like unwanted grass and powdery mildew. And because I can't help myself, I also started tackling an even bigger project, building a wire trellis for star jasmine on this wall. Let's take a look at how the garden's been coming along over the past few weeks. One of the first things I tackled early on was clearing out the summer plants. It always feels bittersweet to pull them out, but after a few hot weeks, they run their course and beds needed a reset. The banana peppers are still producing, and they're one of my favorite peppers, so I'm gonna keep that going, but these other bell pepper plants can come out. The tomatoes have got to go. These sunflowers were beautiful, but they're flopping over and their season is done. The large sunflower, I'm actually going to use the seeds for next season. Over the next couple of weeks, I started filling those cleared spaces with new plantings. A mix of seeds, some propagated cuttings, and a fresh new start from the nursery. I usually chip away at this in short bursts. A little bit every few days makes the tasks less overwhelming and fits my schedule a little better. A few gardening channels I like to watch are The Millennial Gardener and Epic Gardening. And one thing I learned from The Millennial Gardener is that cucumbers get a second season. I did not like pulling it out this season, but good news is I get a second chance to grow this plant again this season. So I'm going ahead and planting that. Another thing I learned through an accident, trial and error, and a little research is how to propagate sweet potatoes. Now, this is a sweet potato I got from the grocery store that sat on the counter sprouting these little things, and I thought, okay, I'll just save it and put it in the garden. I've done that before with potatoes, but as I went to plant it, I noticed these did not look like roots. They had little leaves on them and they actually looked really beautiful. After a little research, I learned that these are called slips, and how you propagate them is you break them off from the sweet potato and you can sow them directly in the ground, or you can put them in water, and these are the roots that developed after sitting in water for just 2 days in my house. So I brought them out to the garden and I'm just going to try it out. I think this might be way too many slips to plant in one pot, but I'm going to do it anyway. I put the larger stems in this pot and I planted a few in the garden bed behind it. The smaller slips didn't do as well, but that's okay because I have enough. I think I counted, there's over 9 here. And we eat a lot of sweet potatoes in my house, so if I could grow these and this is successful, it'll be really exciting. Another thing we eat a lot of in our house are berries. I've always wanted a blueberry bush, and I got one. So what I'm doing is I'm making up my own soil mix. The gophers in my backyard are really busy, and they leave me a lot of mounds of dirt. But what I like to do is use that really loomy soil that they kick up to my benefit. So I'm using garden soil from the garden center, and I'm mixing in some of the native soil that's already in my garden. I think that the plants will like it. I'm just gonna mix that up together, giving it a little bit of plant food. I'll also be repotting this lavender. When I planted it, it was so small and you could see it, but all these other plants have taken over this garden bed and you can't enjoy this lavender. It's doing so well back here, but I'm gonna try to pot it up and see how it does. Spoiler, it doesn't look as pretty as it did in the garden bed, but I'm gonna keep trying.
For any of you watching and thinking this is a totally stupid step, I agree. I want it to not be grass. It's annoying.
In between planting seasons, I tried to keep up with regular chores like filling the feeders for the birds. They're fun to watch and actually keep some of the pests down, so it's worth it. And I've been really wanting a water feature back here for the birds and the sound, but I'd never liked the price tag. So I have this side table I'll use as my base, a waterproof bowl that I got from the kitchen, and this floating solar water fountain from Amazon. And we're gonna see how this works. Much nicer than spending $100 on a fountain. This pesky grass I knew would pop up in this garden path seems to creep in no matter how often I pull it. Here's what it looks like right after I finished it and what it looks like today. So I'm gonna try to treat it from the root. And this is what it looks like a few days after I applied the vinegar solution. It still does not look great, I'll admit, but at least it's not green. You can see the places where I sprayed it and where I didn't. A crop of powdery mildew showed up during the stretch of humid days. I'm pretty sure it started from the cucumber plant and spread, and it really took over. So instead of getting rid of the crop, I'll treat the powdery mildew with a solution that I found. And this is what it looks like a few days later. It still looks really bad, so I'm going to reapply it. Once this batch runs out, I'll remake it with a little bit stronger hydrogen peroxide. I think that I got the ratio wrong. I think I miscounted while I was pouring the tablespoons. But regardless, you need to spray it in the evening so that the sun doesn't burn it. And I'm just going to keep treating it as it comes up. There is a ton of new growth because zinnias like to be cut. So once you cut the flowers, they'll grow new shoots, and all of that does not have any powdery mildew on it. I still would like to treat the fungus that I have. Project that's taken up most of my willpower and my mental health was starting this trellis wall. I wanted star jasmine climbing along this wall to break up the dark paint color, add some life to the back of the house, and also provide a little bit of a shade barrier since this house gets a ton of sun all day and especially in the afternoon. Sometimes the heat is unbearable. I'm hoping the star jasmine can provide a little bit of insulation for the house, as well as look and smell beautiful. Over the last few weeks, I finally started chipping away at that. I thought it would be simple. The videos you watch online make it look really easy. But figuring this out with the spacing and the hardware and drilling into this old stucco, I really struggled. I had trouble figuring out the spacing, so I went to ChatGPT and got some ideas, but turns out I really liked the traditional diamond shape. This has been a process of trial and error. you're not going to see the final result in this video. But that video is coming because I finally turned a corner and I see an end in sight for this project, so I'll make sure to share that with you. But for now, I thought it was really important to share with you my struggles. So here we go.
Okay. This isn't that complicated of a project because most videos I've watched, people are doing this on like a blank wall, or they're doing it where there's one window or the windows are symmetrical. But I want to do this on a wall that has two asymmetrical windows. I can't figure it out. I'm almost ready to give up on this because it's taking me this long. I don't know if it's stupid or it's gonna look stupid. The idea is there and I think it'll be cool. I just didn't imagine having to put this many holes in the wall. I don't know. What do you think? I've done big, huge diamond shapes before. I'm gonna map out where the little hooks are gonna have to go. So like they definitely go at the bottom. So I'd need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ew, it's so many. And honestly, like I didn't map this out. It's not equally. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it'll look good though? Obviously my measuring whack. No, it'd have to go around this other window, huh? That would look weird. God, so many holes in the wall. I have to really commit to this and make sure I like it. Actually start measuring. It looks crazy like this because I'm using chalk. The wire's not going to be that noticeable because I could put a big triangle here. I mean a big diamond. 1, 2, 3. It's pretty crazy that I eyeballed this. They're about 16 inches, so they'd be 2 feet this way. My gut's telling me to go with a white diamond shape. So this way, they're the same height as they are width, and here they're a little narrower. Do you know sometimes when you have an idea and then you start doing it and you're like, never mind? I'm gonna write down my measurements just in case. So 16 this way. It's stressing me to look at this.
After a few weeks of steady work, old plants have been cleared, new crops have been planted, the birds are cared for, and fungus is getting managed. I'm on to the next big project. Yes, this trellis wall is one of them, but you may have noticed throughout this video there is a hole in my garden fence. Sometimes there's projects that you just know are outside of your wheelhouse. And we hired out for a pretty big backyard project that I'll be sharing soon. And along with that came demoing a cinder block wall that left a big, huge hole in the fence. So I'm going to be sharing with you how I tackle that. And of course, there's always more projects to come. I'll keep sharing how things grow as the season goes on. And as always, thanks for watching.